on a cream-colored backdrop. Big bold text and blue color appears and reads, Sightless Living. All content copyright symbol, 2021-2022, Sightless Living. All rights reserved. Then disappears. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share. Scene opens to Anita of Sightless Living sitting at a table against a cream-colored backdrop. She is wearing a peach turtleneck top, peach pants, black coat coordinating whimsical jacket adorned with holiday ornaments and peach accents as well as other colors, brown sunglasses with gold accents, gold earrings, red lipstick with her hair out, and a black beret pulling it back on one side.
Hello, Anita here from Sightless Living, here with a tip involves traveling with liquids and things that can fall and spill. Screw caps. So I have a bottle of lotion and a bottle of toner here. And what I do is when I travel and I don't want it to get all in my luggage, I will just get a piece of plastic wrap. So I just ripped off a little sliver of plastic wrap because the opening is small. And what I'm going to do is double it because I like it thicker. You can make yours wider. I'm just doing this as a quick example of what works for me. I got some plastic wrap, which is really sticking onto itself. I probably have about 3 layers now. But what I do is I'll screw the cap off. It's exposed now, it can spill, and I just stick my plastic wrap on there. It's nice and thick because I have a couple layers there. And I just twist the cap back on. And that's it. Now I don't have to worry about it spilling. And then I could either leave it like this, which I probably will because it's sticking to the bottle fine. Usually when I have overhang, I'll just take a scissor and snip it off. And that's it. And I'll do this to all the products that have openings, especially these flip caps, because you know they can flip open and break off. Flip caps. You can take flip tops like this where you just pop the cap up, and you can either tape them down. Some may want to put a rubber band on them or put it in a plastic bag. What I like to do is get some plastic wrap here and cover the openings of the bottles. If the top's open and you just turn it upside down, nothing's going to come out. These kind of caps, I've always had problems. Tube caps. With tubes, you have certain ways you can stop them from leaking. You can screw off the entire cap, and usually there's just a little hole there in the nozzle, and you can put plastic wrap over it and then twist your cap back on. You could take tape and cover your flip cap with it by putting a piece of tape on top and running it to the bottle to keep the cap from opening. Or if you're concerned with it screwing off in your luggage, you can do this. You can take a piece of cellophane tape like I have in my hand. I cut off maybe 3 inches, 2 inches, 2.5, don't know. And then I take the sticky side and I fold it where the sticky side is on the outer part. And I fold it so I can find where the cap meets the bottle. And I take the fold and stick it in the space, close to the space because I cannot see. And that's how I can tape straight. So I take the tape and half is on the bottle and half is on the cap. Now since I keep my nails short because I cook, I fold over the edge so I'll be able to find it on one side, and on the other side I'll do the same thing. I'll fold it over where I have the 2 sticky pieces together, and then I just lay it down. So now I have about, I'm showing it to the camera, I have about 2 inches of cellophane tape on the bottle, and where the cap and bottle meet, right in that space. And I'm gonna try to twist it off. It can twist a little, but once I wrap it around like so, it shouldn't come off. Now, and I just did this little piece of tape just for my demonstration. When I'm traveling, I'll normally do like 3/4 of the cap and have the little space, but I make sure I have tabs on the end. So when I get to my destination, I could just pull it off like that and be back in business in case I want to take the cap off. And the cap does come off pretty easily. Or if I wanted to stay on for the whole trip, I'll just leave it on there between the cap and the bottle. And it's just simple. You just find your seam and you put the tape over the seam so it's covering the cap and the tube. Jars and powders. I have a little sample here of some baby powder. And sometimes we have powders that go with our fragrances and you want to layer, or maybe you're traveling with a baby in tow. These can twist very easily. I've had a lot of faux pas with these, where the powder was open and it got all in my bag. So how I do this is I take my tape. I have my shipping tape. I like to leave some tape balled up, so I'm gonna stick it right there so I can find the ends, because that is my favorite thing in the world. Scratching the tape for hours trying to see where it was left off. So I just take some tape, and I like to use this tape because it's wider. Let me put my balled up tape back on the end so I can find it again. So I'll stick that out of the way. And now I have a piece of cellophane box tape, and this is about 2 inches wide. And this little powder bottle is small. So what I usually do with this is I take the tape, I'll stick it over the powder holes. And this does fit the big bottles. And I do the same thing, fold the ends over so the two sticky sides are together. And I fold this side, it makes it easier to rip off. And then I just fold it down, and that's it. Some people put them in plastic bags, so that's that one. Now I have a jar here of lotion. And you screw it off and it's open. Now some products come with that paper that covers the product. I'll just get some plastic wrap. I'll fold it over. I'll sit it in front of me. I have the cap already off, and I'll just stick it on top of my jar. And I pull it taut. I'm pressing on the plastic. It's nice and taut. And then I just screw the cap back on my jar. There. I have big old long wings hanging on both sides. So I just take a scissor and I just trim it on both sides. And if you're going to do this option, you may want to bring some extra plastic wrap with you. Then it just sticks to the jar. That's ready for travel. Some people, and I have done this too, just get a big piece of plastic wrap and you wrap the whole thing a couple of times. Some people do the same thing with the powder. Instead of putting tape over it like I have, they will put tape and wrap the whole thing. You can do that if you wish to. I think it's a waste of too much product. Cans and sprays. I have a can of hairspray here, and it lost its cap. I took a plastic cup, which is a plastic cup that comes with your medicines like cough syrup and aspirin, anything liquid. It usually has a measuring cup in there. So I took an old measuring cup, washed it of course, and stuck it on the top. Or if you don't have one, you can just take a plastic cup and stick it like that on top of the can. And then you can tape it down, or you can wrap the entire can. So that's an option as well. Pump bottles. These that have pumps, they usually lock. So you want to make sure it's locked, then maybe tape it or put it in a position where it will not turn and open and then get pressed and spill all over your bag. Or some people put them in bags. So if they do unlock and spill, it's in the bag and not all over your clothes. I have a pump bottle here. I had a big mess. Mine had become unlocked, and each time it got bumped, it was squirting, squirting, squirting. and I had half the bottle all over my clothes inside my luggage. It was a mess. So now what I do is I take the pump out, and this stick here, they call it a stem or a shaft. So I'm gonna call it a pump shaft. I take large bottles with me. Unless you're going on a plane, then you gotta get the travel sizes. I have a towel here on the table for this step. I'm removing the pump. The pump has a pump shaft, which is what I'm knocking on the inside of the bottle, trying to shake off as much lotion as possible. This lotion is pretty full, and then I'm gonna hold it in my hand. So I have the pump in my hand, and I have the shaft. I'm twisting it because it's very slippery. It has the lotion on it, and I'm pulling the stem out. So I got the stem out. I'm gonna lay it on this towel. It's gonna get a little lotion on it. And now the pump and shaft are in two parts. So now what I do with this is I take some plastic wrap and I rip some off. So I got a plastic wrap here. What I am going to do is pick up the pump part of the two-part pump shaft, and I'm going to wrap the pump. So I got plastic wrap on it, and I'm going to stick the part with the plastic wrap down into the bottle. I'm spreading the plastic wrap out now because you don't want to have it too thick around the rim because you have to screw it back onto the bottle. So I'm trying to make it comfortable. It has enough room in there and it's not going to make a hole. And then I'm just twisting the top back onto the bottle like so. There it is. I twisted on. I got my wrap spread out. Now hopefully this works. If your bottle is too full up to the rim, it may squirt some out. Yeah, see, mine is full, so squirting out, but not much. See, I'm pressing it, I'm pounding on it, and only a little bit squirting out, and that's just the little part that's up in the mechanism. But that's a good option. So now I can just lock it. If it becomes unlocked, I'll know that I had already worked my pump. So see, it's pressing and nothing is coming out. So I don't have to worry about that. And then I could also take the excess plastic wrap and just wrap the cap if I feel so inclined, because this could be a headache too. When you wrap it, if you have this very sticky plastic wrap like I have, it clings. You may be here for a while trying to get it undone, but you can just see it's not going to happen. I'm banging on it, nothing. And that also can hold the pump sprayer in place. And you can just throw it in your luggage, just like so. If it becomes unlocked, you still don't have to worry about it. Because if a little bit comes out, it's wrapped up still. You can take the stem, wipe it off, or use the lotion. Then you can rinse it off as well. And then you could either put it against the bottle and wrap your saran wrap around it to hold it. When I say saran wrap, it could be plastic wrap, whatever it is. I call them both. I don't even go by the names. Some might call them cling wrap, whatever. But you can take your plastic wrap and just keep spinning it around the bottle until you have enough coverage that you feel comfortable with. And then when you get to your destination, you can just assemble it again. Or you can leave it intact and try your luck with just taking the plastic wrap and wrapping the entire bottle. When you get to your destination, you can remove the pump top out of your lotion. I pick up the stem or the pump shaft and I fit it back into the hole, and then I work it in and it snaps right back in place. Then I remove the saran wrap or the plastic wrap or cling wrap, whatever you may be using. And I just stick it back into place. Screw the top back onto the lotion, the pump top. And then I pump it. And there we go, back in business. Lotion's coming out. And when I leave my destination, I just disassemble it again. Put the plastic wrap on the pump head, which is the top or the cap of the bottle. And then I just knock the inside as I pull out the stem or pump shaft. I just keep knocking it inside the bottle as I'm pulling it out. And once it's out, I just pull out the stem, sit it on a towel or paper towel, whatever you're working with, and wrap the head with plastic wrap, stick it back inside the bottle, and then put my stem against the bottle after I wash it off and clean it, and throw it in my luggage. That's all I have. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Anita waves goodbye. Scene now changes to a cream-colored backdrop. Rolling credits appear in bold blue-colored text scrolling upward from the bottom of the screen. Text reads, Anita, hostess/visionary, Mountaineer Videography, TM symbol, videographer/editor. The rest of the text may be read in the description box below. Thanks for watching.